Me and Chuck are two different animals. Total different animals.
Don't blink. This shit's gonna be over quick.
It sucks fighting a guy who I thought was my friend. And the first time we fought, I didn't want to do it.
This is the business you're in. Chuck Liddell is more than willing to fight you, best buddy.
Tito can, I don't care. I'm knocking either one of them out.
I thought we had an agreement that if we ever fought each other, it would be for, huge amounts, sums of money. He didn't care. All he wanted was the world title. I just thought in my mind that when the multi-million-dollar fights came about, Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell's names would be at the top.
He knew better, that's why he didn't want to fight me. Striking, he was afraid of me.
I'm not afraid to fight no man.
I'm afraid of no man, yeah, right.
I saw a value that we brought that no other fighters brought. I understood the business side of it. Chuck was just a fighter. That's all he cared about was fighting.
I fight anybody they put in front of me.
I just did it because there's so many people saying, oh, you're afraid of him, you don't want to fight him. I was like, all right, you know what, let's do it.
It's gonna be a huge fight, me and Chuck Liddell.
I'm ready to settle in the ring.
Someone's getting their ass kicked tomorrow.
And now, finally, it's on!
I'm Tito Ortiz, and I'm staying here for a long, long time.
It's time!
Tito Ortiz wins again.
I want to thank Frank, Lorenzo, and Dana for everything they've done for me over the years and for the sport. And most of all, I want to thank my fans, family. But anyway, I love this sport, and I'm excited to get go to my new stage in my life, and keep promoting the best sport in the world. Thank you, everybody, and love you all.
We had a reputation from up here. You can come up here and get beat up. That's when we used to train. I used to go out every day.
This is just a hillside, and I built it up here. In the beginning, it was kind of an invite thing. I think the first year I moved up here, Chuck came.
Jim I was training at called me up. They had all the black belts coming in here, come and spar. So I was, okay, I'll come in. And I came in and spar. Everyone's telling me, oh, yeah, oh, man, you did real good. I'm like, what were they watching? That's not how I felt. So then, he invited me to come up here and train. It was rain. Came up on my motorcycle and it was raining. And he goes, are you coming up tomorrow? Here, take my truck home then. From there, I was training up here for every day for six days a week for probably 7 years straight almost.
It wasn't really a UFC it wasn't really a big thing. Like when people would spar, you basically would say, what are the rules? You just say, whatever, just hit as hard as you want to get hit. Most of it was punching and kicking, but there was always guys that would try to take you down. Basically, like I said, the only rules were hit as hard as you want to get hit, and anything else goes.
Came up saying you wanted to be a fighter, so we find out if you got to find out if you really, really wanted to be a fighter when you came up.
Chuck Liddell from Santa Barbara, California.
Everyone could tell, even his first beginning fights, that guy's gonna be something. There's nothing you could put your finger on. Everybody knew that he was gonna be something big.
Oh, good. Now they're back to striking distance. Again, he goes high. He continues to run a box, and back down to the ground it goes. Liddell!
I remember what it felt like to be walking down these streets, wondering what I'm gonna eat for dinner. What cars are you gonna steal out of? How are we gonna gather up some money to buy a 40? My parents actually were both heroin addicts. My father actually, before that, he owned his own business. He was a carpenter. We had money, but my father got a major surgery, and my uncle at the time introduced him to heroin to take away the pain. And the addiction from heroin kind of put our family on a downward spiral. He lost his company, we lost our home. You know, it was difficult at the time of me being 7, just turning 8 years old, moving from motel to motel, people's houses, people's garages. But at the time, I thought it was normal. Last time I've been here was probably about 25 years ago. When I was with the gang at the time, F Troop, we had a rival gang, it was Delhi. And we used to come here and partying, you know, kind of like a tailgate stuff. And, some of our buddies would get beers, we'd kick here and just drink beers. And Delhi, that from on the other side of the riverbed, they would come here and we'd have fights. And fist fights, baseball bat fights, and either that or go watch my parents do drugs at home. So this is kind of my family away from home that was a family to me. This is actually the same place that we used to hang out, and one of my boys got shot here. Is actually the same location, but instead of these fences are here, they were concrete fences. And God, it kind of gives me the chills right now, just remembering. We always used to come from that area and walk over here and kind of hang out in this area. And there was a van parked right on this side, and I had my back into the wall on the van like this, and my friend was standing on this side, and a car rolled up, and it was like, "Where you guys from?" And the guy looked at him and was like, "Puro F True." And I just remember it heard, bah! And he got shot, blasted. We hopped over the fence that was here, and like I said, it was brick fence at the time, and you hear the bullets hitting the brick, bah! And you hear ching, ching. We took off running down the side, and he laid here dead. And it was just a trip to come back 25 years later and be in the same area. And that's how it was. Even at that time, I never thought of being a fighter. I didn't even know what competition was. I didn't know what kickboxing was. I didn't know what wrestling was. I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. I just knew what street mentality was, and that was to survive. You know, if you wanted respect, you had to fight for your respect. You got your ass kicked and you got walked on, or you stood up for yourself and you spoke your mind. I mean, survival of the fittest.
We are set to go. Joe Hamilton gets the fighters going.
Watch for Albritton to try to strike and keep it on the feet, but he got in awful close. I don't know why he did that if he wanted to stay standing.
Good quick move by Ortiz, who rains down some elbows. And Ortiz popping away at the head of Albritton. And now in the mount.
He's got a good mount here.
Oh, some bad ones to the face, and finally the corner. The corner throws in the towel.
I caught his ass on fire. How's that?
Once I fought in UFC 13, I came back to Huntington. I remember this nightclub I used to go to. Didn't have to wait in lines. Someone noticed me at the bar, goes, "Holy shit, that's Tito Ortiz." Bought me cocktails. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. There was fulfillment of the desire of getting attention that I've always dying for as a kid, and I was getting it. All of a sudden, there was a whole different world that I kind of fell into, and it was something I was loving.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, just only a 2 short, something like a 3.
You gonna keep the green?
Yeah, so good.
My first impression was pretty much the stereotype, you know, roughneck, punk. Exactly what you would assume somebody with a crazy mohawk, and definitely completely different than he ended up really being. I didn't think he was smart, calm, sweet, and, you know, the father that he is and the friend that he is to all the friends he has. He's very loyal, very disciplined, just exactly the opposite of what I would have ever even tried to stretch from what I saw.
Why did you always have the mohawk?
Really? I like that. I did it that one time I went to Slayer, and you know, because everyone else was cutting their hair short, and I always had my hair short when I was a kid. I didn't want to cut my hair short, but I'll put a mohawk, and it's kind of stuck. And it's a weird thing, I think, for as an athlete, you know, coming from, you know, that's pretty much all I've ever been doing. I was always in training for something. You know, if it wasn't, you know, football, wrestling, and track. You know, I did karate all year round, and all of a sudden, you don't have to get ready for anything. You know, it's just a weird thing not to have anything out there. Wish it was in the cards to still fight, but, you know, I'm okay with it. It started out when I was young, because I wouldn't fight. The guy was asking me what I said. My mom said I couldn't. And when the teachers came, took her aside and said, he's getting picked on every day, getting beat up every day. You know, I like what you're trying to do with this nonviolence thing. It's fine, but you gotta let your son defend himself. Someone once said, okay, well, you can defend yourself. Took me to my pops. He taught me how to throw a few straight punches, and I started fighting. Yeah, I always liked it. I liked the competition of fighting. You know, growing up, I always said I never started a fight. But, you know, as I grew older, I figured out I didn't let people out of them too easy either. You know, I think Santa Barbara, I was a high school kid. We go out to the college area and I ended up getting a lot of fights. I got a lot of brawls and, you know, got a lot of trouble. I used to say that in high school. Man, it sucks. The one thing I'm really good at, I can't make a living doing. And turned out I ended up doing it.
I kind of always wanted to have my own gym to call Team Punishment, you know. I started Team Punishment back in 1999, and I wanted a gym to be called home. Did a lot of the labor of this work myself, put in the floors, I painted the floors, you know, the ideas of the color scheme and everything I wanted. This gym's actually 10,000 square feet. We use about 7,000 of it, and the rest is Punishment Athletics, which is my clothing company, so it's all kind of home built all in one. It's a dream that's coming true. I remember in the beginning when this first started, and me and Chuck and Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta and Dana, we're boys. We're all boys. We have pictures of all of us hanging out, going to Japan on the Lear jets, you know, on the Fertitta's jet. You know, they put me in presidential suites. Everything was fine and dandy. Everything was kosher. Everything was great. I couldn't ask for anything better. At the time, I had people in my ears, and I probably shouldn't have the people in the ears that I did, and I shouldn't have listened to them the way I should have. And I kick myself in the ass now because of it. I seen them making some money out of it, and I made a huge mistake as counting their money. I should have never done that.
Well, before the UFC, I managed both Chuck and Tito. So, you know, I did have a relationship with both guys.
Me and Tito were both friends with Wayne Harriman. I think he hooked him up with Tito and said, hey, and Wayne would say, hey, you got to get this guy. Talking about me, and then so Dana started working with both of us. I liked about him he was trying to get stuff that other people weren't getting. You know, he was trying to get the magazines that we weren't in yet. We were trying to get in, you know, get us exposure and different things that weren't just the same old stuff.
I remember when Dana was on the phone with Bob Meyerowitz, the old owner of the UFC, and he was holding for pay-per-view money and for a sum for each fight for me, and he's like, Tito, let's not budge on it.
I did fight hard for Tito, and I battled. The reason we own the UFC today is the battle that I had with Meyerowitz over Tito's contract. Lasted almost a year. The scary thing about dealing with Bob Meyerowitz at the time, and I would think about it all the time, when I'd go to bed at night, I'd think I'm playing with this kid's career, meaning Tito, and I'm dealing with this guy, Bob Meyerowitz, who at any moment can just snap and say, fuck you. Deal's over, you know, and Tito wanted to fight in the UFC.
Bob Meyerowitz said, no, just go take a walk. What else, you know, you're gonna go fight in Japan? And luckily, you know, Bob Meyerowitz understood who I was and what I brought to the table. And he fought for it, and he got me the pay-per-view. He got me the extra money.
You have to know that fine line as a manager, how far to push to get everything that you should get, but not cross that line to where you end up, you know, ruining the relationship.
What's up, Tito? What's up, Bernie? Hey, how are you?
Good, really good.
Well, check it out. This is what I had Rick do last night. Brought the shadow boxes over and mounted them up. They're all even, in order, the way you had for your title defenses.
But it's cool to get all my fight shorts from the title fights I had. This actually goes in order. My first fight was Vanderlei Silva.
One man will walk out of here tonight is our new middleweight champion. Taken down Tito Ortiz. Tito lands a big right, and down goes Silva.
I fought him in a 5-round decision. I won 4 of the 5 rounds.
Tito Ortiz選手の判定勝ちです。
His nickname was the Axe Murderer. And on the back of the shirt it said, I just killed the Axe Murderer. Every fight after that, people going, wow, man, what shirt are you gonna put on next? Then I had my first title defense against Yuki Kondo.
Wow, and look at Tito teeing off here, Jeff. There's a tap, it's over.
There's no middleweights out there gonna challenge me at all.
And then I had actually my second title defense against Evan Tanner, and I stopped him in 30 seconds, actually 32 seconds. My next one, I fought Elvis Sinisek, and I thought this guy's gonna get crushed.
A wide array of forearms. Working on Elvis Sinisek. Combinations. He's going to stop the fight.
And then Vladimir Matoshenko. This is actually right after 9/11, and we sold it out. And on the back of the shirt it says, "I fight for America."
The Huntington Beach Bad Boy has held on to his belt.
Tito, he comes across as a star. He knows he's a star. He definitely acts like one.
What'd I tell you? Don't blink. This shit's gonna be over quick.
Personally, I like him. Chuck doesn't like him. I like him. He just seems like a nice guy who's a little maybe too full of himself.
I got about 5 or 6 more belts to win. Keep bringing those middleweights, man, and I'm gonna keep stomping them.
Gets into the hoopla a little too much. Chuck's always just been kind of, hey, let's go fight. Okay, fight this guy, that guy, whatever. I don't care. You know, and then, you know, the money happened to come, but if it didn't, he'd be doing the same thing for $16 in gas money. Tito, more about money, more about the stardom. Chuck was just, it happened to come to him. None of us knew how big the UFC would become, much less how he would become the icon of the UFC.
There you go. Exactly as advertised. Liddell throws the punch. He connects. And this one is over quickly.
Well, I think we were associated from day one. You know, we used to train with each other. You know, he was a good kickboxer. My wrestling was great, so we helped each other. We're the first guys to come up with the wall walk. As you see fighters now doing, once they hit the cage, they're up the wall. And me and Chuck used to drill it. We would drill the wall walk. That was our patented thing. He just came down to my house, stayed on my couch. You know, I've been up to San Luis Obispo, training with him, helping him get ready for fights, helping me get ready for fights. But, you know, as our relationship kind of became tight, we were at the same weight, and, you know, we kept winning our matches, and there was a time that we were gonna have to fight each other.
Chuck was in Tito's head big time because every time they trained together, that was it, man. Tito would get beat up. And I'm not just talking like, you know, I feel like he got the better of me today. I'm talking drop him on the ground and Tito refusing to get back up. Then, you know, Chuck would want to hook up and spar and whatever, and Tito would never want to spar.
He'd make the wrestling practices, and for some reason would have some reason why he didn't make the sparring practice, which I thought was silly, because that's what really it came down to, give him some work on the stand-up and stuff. So striking, he was afraid of me.
Tito Ortiz is the champion in the light heavyweight division. These two men inside the octagon want what is around Tito's waist. The Iceman, the Phenom, and we are set.
Right, here we go, you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on, come on!
Is that going to affect you when you guys fight?
Of course, I'd be lying if I said it didn't, but you know, it's part of the game, it's part of the business, so we'll be friends. Up until then, fight time, it's all business.
Well, it looks like me and him are next. I got a little thing before him, though, a little Ken Shamrock. We got some bad vibes, got to take care of with him. I'm going to shut him up and go put him back to the litter box. But after that, it'll be me and Chuck. So I just get a little warm-up fight with the old Ken Slamcock, or excuse me, Shamrock.
When we did Ken Shamrock versus Tito, this was back in the days when we were bleeding money, and we knew that Ken and Tito could still be a good fight and a good story. So we asked Chuck to sit out and wait for the fight. He refused to do that, and he took on Babalu Sobral, who was a dangerous, tough fight at the time.
Chuck Liddell is the only guy that they have that won't fight a guy he thinks he can beat easily. He is a true warrior. This guy loves to fight tough guys, and he truly believes he's the best 205-pound fighter in the world.
The Brazilian against the Californian.
He's very aware that this is a risky bout for him, and I'm sure he would like to get it over with. I love the way Chuck fights because he's always pressing.
Oh, the big right hand.
Yeah, Chuck's got wide eyes just looking for a bomb. You see it in his eyes.
Jump in. Oh, big leg kick. It's over. It is all over.
Big left leg kick.
Chuck
title. Tito can, I don't care. I'm knocking either one of them out.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Listen to this crowd. It's deafening in here.
Shamrock Ortiz, the legend, the champion. Who will dictate the future?
Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get on!
Finally, we are underway.
Oh, big right hand by Tito. Big knee.
The knee. Trying to
right hand, Kenneth Rollins.
trying to finish him early.
Tito is a ground and pound expert. There's no doubt in Ken's mind right now that he's fighting a man, not a boy.
Oh, Shamrock free. What a move by Ken Shamrock. He spun free, and they're on their feet.
Big left hand. Oh,
And another knee, and another knee.
right hand. Got that Muay Thai head clinch. Nice elbow. Ken is taking some punishment here on his feet. Many, many lesser men would have tapped out long ago. Wow. Look at Ken Shamrock's face.
You know what? And then look at Tito Ortiz's face. They're going to stop the fight. It is all over. Tito Ortiz remains the light heavyweight champion.
I can't even begin to fathom a match between Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell is next in line. What's going to happen?
I don't know. I'm not really thinking about that right now. Me and Chuck, I guess we got to sit back and look at it. I guess we got to renegotiate things because me and Chuck, our friendship's not worth the money we're getting paid, if you ask me. I love Chuck as a friend. If we're going to get in here and do what we just did right now, I'm going to make it worthwhile myself and his self. So, I don't know. I guess we'll be going to Japan to fight, possibly. But that's the last on my mind right now.
And the bad blood between them started when Tito refused to fight Chuck.
I saw a value that we brought that no other fighters brought. You know, we were two of the best great light heavyweights in the world. I just thought in my mind that, you know, when the multi-million-dollar fights came about, Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell's names would be at the top.
Tito can talk about money or whatever else he wants to talk about. It's a fucking crock of shit. The money was what it was then. It's not like, you know, we were on the level that we're at now. It's no different than baseball. The guys who played in the 50s and 60s didn't make as much as the guys who played in the 80s, 90s, and today. It's just the way that it worked out. But for the time, that was big money for Tito in his day. Tito absolutely, positively would not fight Chuck because he knew he couldn't beat Chuck. And that's the truth.
Training's training, fights are fights. And for Dana's to say I was scared to fight a man, that's just him trying to sell a fight. I'm not afraid to fight no man.
I'm afraid of no man, yeah, right. Yeah, he knew better, that's why he didn't want to fight me. He knew better. I mean, I don't blame him. I don't see how he would think he would win, you know?
I know Tito always feels like I'm saying, oh, he was scared of Chuck Liddell, he was scared of Chuck Liddell. I'm not saying that you were necessarily scared of Chuck Liddell. You knew Chuck Liddell would beat you. You knew Chuck Liddell would beat you. You didn't want to lose and you didn't want to give up your title, you know? But to be the best in the world, you have to fight the best, and Tito wasn't willing to do that.
It sucks fighting a guy who I thought was my friend. And the first time we fought, I didn't want to do it.
Anybody who knows Tito knows this. Tito doesn't have any friends. There's no friends that Tito's so close to that he wouldn't do whatever. If Tito felt he could beat Chuck, he'd have fought him in a second. He would have had no problem fighting him. I think the thing was with Tito and Chuck, for Tito, it's that old saying, you know, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Chuck was a potential guy that he'd have to fight. And as long as he kept Chuck close and had this relationship with him, maybe Chuck would feel the same way and not want to fight Tito.
I thought we had an agreement that if we ever fought each other, it would be for, you know, huge sums of money. And he didn't care. All he wanted was the world title. And as I say, this is a business to me. You know, we're two icons in the sport of, you know, pushing the sport over. Chuck was just the fighter guy, and I was the promotional guy. You know, I was the entertainment guy. I was the guy helping UFC become not just a barbaric, brutal sport, but it being just a sport. And I understood that. I understood the business side of it. And Chuck was just a fighter. That's all he cared about was fighting.
Tito always tries to play off like, I'm a businessman. You know, I'm a businessman. Okay. You're a fighter, Tito. Okay, that's what you're supposed to be as a fighter.
Yes, fighting and having world titles, it matters. And, you know, getting your hand raised, it matters. Winning fights, it matters. But at the end of the day, we got to support our family. And this is a business. To me, this is a business. And I understood that from day one. And Chuck, wanted to fight for peanuts. He didn't care, he would.
Chuck Liddell made way more money than Tito Ortiz ever did. Tito Ortiz left more money on the table because Tito always thought he was smarter than everybody else, and that guy used to step over dollars to pick up dimes.
I wanted to win the title, and so I wanted my shot. I waited patiently. They asked me to wait so we could fight Ken. I waited. I wanted my shot.
The former two-time UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Randy the Natural Couture. All right, gentlemen, light heavyweight championship. You ready, Randy?
The Natural.
You ready, Chuck?
The Iceman. And the main event is underway.
Randy Couture is an animal.
I've loved fishing ever since I can remember. Back when me and my dad used to go fishing when I was really young. When I was 5, I remember going to Catalina and going catching bonita and stuff. Wagner, knee, beso. When I first started working on boats, before I even thought about fighting or wrestling or anything, I wanted to be a captain on a boat and fish, because I love fishing so much. I'd come out here fishing with a couple buddies, and we just bullshit.
Remember back in the old days, sneaking down here, fishing off of here?
Yeah. A good bass fishing. It's relaxing, calm. It's a getaway, I can just be myself. I've known Dave since my freshman year in high school.
Actually, earlier than that.
Earlier than that? During the summertime, I would work at the Dory Fleet in Newport Beach and bait lines, and we'd be fishing up on the pier, and we had same friends, Nacho and Ricky.
Yeah.
Actually, both of them are in prison. They made some bad choices when we were in high school, but we hung out all the time, used to go fish, and we used to sit on that dock out there, and I remember I used to tell them and Dave, watch guys, one day, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get a house in here so we can go fishing.
Here we are.
23 years later?
23 years later.
It's pretty cool. I sit back now and, maybe I shouldn't have said the things I said, and I kick myself for listening to the people that were around me at the time, and maybe I should have fought for pennies and not said anything. Yeah, I took a year off just to, I shot a movie at the time, The Crow. All it was a business decision that I made.
Tito's thing was acting. I was blessed with this God-given talent to act. He actually says that in an interview before. I don't know if you've ever seen Tito act, but acting isn't really his thing. Fighting was.
I wasn't into it. I really wasn't into it. It was just one of those things that I felt like I was getting pressed into a fight that I shouldn't have fought. To tell lies that I'm afraid of Chuck is just ridiculous. Just because I was trying to get me and Chuck paid more money is ridiculous to say that I was afraid of him.
By leaving, taking a year off, Tito hurt the sport. He hurt the UFC, he hurt Chuck, and the most important for Tito is Tito hurt Tito. Fighters have a very small window of opportunity to make money, and at the time, when Tito was on top, he was very marketable. He had a lot of fans, a lot of people were into him, and he had the opportunity to make a lot of money, and he didn't. He left it all on the table. All the things that he thought were important, acting, selling t-shirts, my t-shirt company and this and that. You're gonna have to sell a lot of t-shirts to make the kind of money you were making when you were fighting, even when you thought you weren't making a lot of money. And I'm sure he realizes that now that he's in the t-shirt business. It's not all he had thought it would be.
Obviously, there's a dispute, and we need to settle the dispute. The dispute was created by Tito. It's purely of his fabrication, so I think his position is wrong. I don't think he's the champion. I think he forfeited that title when he refused to fight. My only issue with him is now his attitude and not wanting to fight Chuck Liddell. It doesn't really matter. I didn't change my feelings about Tito because of that. I told him what I thought, you know, and honestly what I think about the situation. And obviously he doesn't like that, and he doesn't like the fact that they're calling me the light heavyweight champion and him the challenger. So, boner, I should have stepped up and fought Chuck.
It's time for the undisputed title of UFC Light Heavyweight Champion of the World. The 5-time defending Light Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Huntington Beach Bad Boy.
Never seen Tito this angry.
Oh my goodness, is this ever going to be good? Undisputed. Let's get it on, baby! And the clinch here quickly.
Oh, he's got it. This is a dose of Tito's medicine. This is usually the position where Tito finds himself. He does not like this, I guarantee it. Mount!
Full mount.
Randy's got the mount.
Here we go. Randy Couture, right, left, right,
Unbelievable.
left. Couture teeing off on Tito Ortiz. The elbows, the mount. One-sided, lopsided. It's all over. Captain America.
Unbelievable.
It's the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world.
Randy, the natural.
Each round just felt like I was digging a hole, and every round just got deeper and deeper. And I was like, God. When it was over, I talk about the walls caving in. Felt like one of my best friends dying. It hurt. I mean, I'm an emotional guy, so I cried for about a month. I'd sit sometimes just lay in bed and just tears coming down my eyes, and then fucking put my running shoes on and go run. Just run the anger off, because I was so fucking mad, just mad, pissed. Not pissed about anybody around me, just at myself, because I let myself down.
Look at Tito Ortiz. And now the undisputed light heavyweight champion, Randy Couture.
Where'd you hook it, T? Right above the eye, right?
Right through the gill and through the body. You know, Chuck wasn't giving in. Chuck wasn't gonna hold out, and I said, you know what, the hell with it. The first time we fought, I didn't want to do it. I just did it because there's so many people saying, oh, you're afraid of him, you don't want to fight him. I was like, all right, you know what, let's do it. You know, I was sick of Dana saying that I was afraid of fighting him. I'll give the fans what they want to see, and I fought, and it's just one of those, just a fighter in me. I said, the hell with it, let's do it. I have no problem with it at all.
I didn't get as nervous before Tito just because Chuck got so up for him. Like, instead of being so relaxed, sometimes that would make me a little nervous. With Tito, you could always tell that there's no way he'd lose to Tito. I mean, that's the one guy I'd like bet my house on. I'm not a big betting guy, but you could just tell that Chuck would never lose to Tito.
First up, Chuck Liddell. 204. His opponent, the Huntington Beach Bad Boy, Tito Ortiz. 202 pounds, Tito Ortiz. A long time coming, ladies and gentlemen. Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell.
This fight for me, it's just, it needs to be another step towards forward of me getting my belt back. And too bad the victim's gonna be Chuck Liddell.
I got nothing against him, you know, as a person, you know, other than the fact that, you know, he wouldn't fight me, and he was talking bad about me and how he was going to beat me and wouldn't fight me, you know. Now he's finally been willing to step up, and so I'm ready to settle it in the ring.
You watch Chuck's walk-in to the fights with Tito, he's literally smiling like he's going to have the happiest day of his life.
The Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
Look how happy he looks. He couldn't wait to kick Tito's ass. And, you know, Tito hated him too, and there's nothing more Tito wanted to do than to beat Chuck Liddell, especially after all the yapping between, you know, Chuck, Tito, and myself.
I've done all my hard work already. Now the easy work is about going out there and doing my job already, and that's walk through Chuck Liddell.
The road back to the top usually is pretty tough, but I think he'll be able to do it. We know we're dealing with a buzzsaw, man, and Chuck's an animal, but I think I got an animal too. And I think mine's gonna win.
I'm ready. I'm ready for tonight. I can't wait to get out there. All the waiting's over, all the training's done. If he's as ready as I am, it's gonna be a great fight.
I see it going quick. I mean, you know, you never know. But I see it ending with some really hard bombs. I see that happening. And hopefully it does. And we'll find out how well Tito can get hit.
I'm looking to try to punish him as much as possible, man. I just can't wait. I'm just really excited, and it's gonna be a great fight.
We have waited and waited for this odyssey to conclude, and finally, the time has arrived.
And now, it's all come down to this historical UFC moment as these two warriors face off to battle each other in the Arena of Champions. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I have never heard a crowd like this before.
Oh, it's definitely.
Are you ready? Let's get it on. The bad boy, and here we go. The friendship is over. Oh my, listen to the chants of Tito. Tito has always said that he'll go toe-to-toe with Chuck, and Chuck has always contended that Tito will not have the guts to go toe-to-toe.
He's doing a good job. There's a half shot.
Look at the smile on Tito's face.
Oh, big straight right, just missed.
Everyone seems to believe if Chuck wins, it'll be a quick hit. Bingo, bango, done.
There's a takedown attempt. Nice counter by Chuck. Whoa, Chuck gets him off balance a little bit.
And a slip by Tito. Both attempting for an opportunity to engage. He loves to...
Nice combination by Chuck and a good counter right hand by Tito. Good straight jab by Chuck. Nice right hand by Tito.
Final seconds of round number 1. Preparations by Liddell and a high kick.
What is he doing?
Tito saying,
end of the round,
you cannot damage me. You cannot hurt me.
He seems all right.
So
he
does
really
he.
is standing with him.
So Chuck may have the lead in the judges' scorecards. I can't tell if they're yelling Chuck or Tito.
Who can tell?
It is loud here. Tito covers up. Chuck continues to tee up. Combinations, uppercuts. Chuck is on the head. And down, Tito's out. That's not down. Tito Ortiz.
Unbelievable. With a vicious combination.
Nasty. He found his range at the end of that first round. He came out, settled in, and he landed a devastating combination and followed right through.
Wow.
It is
He got
all
in the
over.
corner and just shot it down.
Chuck Liddell knocks out Tito Ortiz.
Outstanding.
Tito chose to stand up with Chuck, Randy, and Tito picked his poison, and in the end, it proved to be lethal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner at 38 seconds of the second round for the winner by knockout, the Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
I knew I was going to beat him. I mean, I knew there was nothing he could do to me. He tried to take me down twice. He didn't come anywhere near close.
Nice counter by Chuck. Whoa, Chuck gets him off balance a little bit.
I hit him with the right hand. His little under his eyes started swelling up, and I'm like, okay, he's hurt. I'm coming after him. And let my hands go, and he just covered up. And I just tried to keep my distance and let him have it. I'm a bad style for him. I've always said it. My styles make fights. I'm just a bad match for him.
Seemed like everything that was hitting me with, I was like, all right, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. And then he came with a jab. I felt his thumb touch the back of my head. And I was like, all right, time to survive. And he just came like an onslaught, man. Chuck Liddell did what he does best, and that's overwhelm people.
I mean, it's hard not to once in a while get poked. There's no, it's fingerless gloves, but I mean, he's been poked. He doesn't say that's why he lost. That's definitely not why he lost, because then did he get poked the second time? Or the third time would he have gotten poked?
Tito had an excuse, the eye poke. Oh, he poked me in the eye in the first fight. Let me tell you what, Tito could have poked Chuck in both eyes. Same fucking thing was gonna happen. It was gonna be the same outcome. Tito was gonna get stopped.
Look at his excuse tirades after fights. I mean, if you're not tired of those, oh my God. Oh, come on, man.
I told Chuck gave me his gloves and his trunks from that fight, and I had them framed, and I hung them in my fucking living room, man. Those things hung in my living room forever.
You know what? I came here and I said I was going to do. I was going to stand in the middle of this octagon, knock out or knock him out. I was going to stand in front of him no matter what. Chuck Liddell is the toughest son of a bitch in the UFC right now at light heavyweight. I'll be back strong as ever, I guarantee it. It's Chuck Liddell's night tonight. Next time it's going to be my night.
We're sure you'll be back, and good luck, Tito.
Thank you.
He'll be back. He's a tough guy, you know. If he needs help training, I tell him to give me a call.
There you go.
After the loss, we got back up on the horse and started all over again. Try to climb back at the top of the mountain where he should be.
The best Tito you ever see is when Tito's back's against the wall and he's in a situation where he's not holding all the cards. He's fighting Vitor Belfort. He's on the last fight of his contract. That's when Tito Ortiz shines.
I'm hoping Vitor pulls out, knocks him out, but probably Tito. But if he wins, it's going to be a boring ground and hold fight just like he always does.
Let's get it on! Come on! Who will be number 3 at 205? Tito closes the gap. Vitor. Tito trying to get the clinch.
A little bit of desperation by Tito for this takedown, and he manages to get it.
Tito's cut.
On his nose.
Yep. But now he's trying to do what he does.
Nice elbows by Tito from the top.
Vitor's got to do something here. He's got to sweep him. He's got to figure out something to stop this. Otherwise, he's going to lose the decision. He's a warrior. I mean, Tito is a champion. He's got the heart. He's got the skill. And he pulled this victory off.
Absolutely. The Huntington Beach bad boy is back.
Randy and Chuck are going to square off at UFC 52. Who's going to take it?
I hope Chuck takes it. That way so I can kick Chuck's ass. Me and him, we owe each other. He owes me one. He got the best of me the first time. I'll come in here the second time. Well, Chuck knows we can do it. We can do it again, bro.
Anytime you want, bro. You won't step in the ring with me again. You know that.
I want to step in the ring again. That ain't a problem at all.
I'll knock you out again.
We can go ahead, and you won't be the last of the Mohicans.
Well, you know what I said before? That the Huntington Beach bad boy was back? Huntington Beach bad boy is back.
Tito doing his best to ruffle up some feathers.
All right, Chuck and Randy, you received your instructions in the locker room. Do I have any questions from you, Chuck? Any questions from you, Randy? Fight clean, fight hard. Let's have a good one.
Wow. Yeah. I got chills, man. Right when we thought it couldn't get any better. Here we go. Couture did a great job defending the arsenal of strikes of Liddell in the first matchup. They are so well versed. There's a connection.
Nice right hand and a left hook by Randy.
Here we go. Clinch time. Uppercut. Dirty boxing.
Chuck so far is doing a good job of countering. Chuck's preparing himself for Randy striking this time. Randy might be hurt.
Yeah, Randy might be hurt. Randy trying to close in though now. And he goes down. He's down. And Chuck Liddell.
Oh, he is out. Chuck Liddell.
Champion of the world.
Randy Couture is
Chuck
out.
Liddell is the light heavyweight champion.
Unbelievable. That guy has dynamite in his hands.
He finally has what he has wanted for so long. He has the title at 205.
Well, I mean, if you have to pick one, that's probably, you know, the biggest one for me. I finally got the title I've been after forever. And I did it in an impressive style. I got to knock him out and caught him good and put him out first round.
And now, the new UFC undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world.
My hat's off to Chuck. He's a true champion. I'm happy for him. He deserves this. He deserved it a long time ago when Tito wouldn't fight him, and now he's got the belt finally.
You could train 1 million people the same way you train Chuck, and they could put in the same hard work and the same discipline, the same everything. But, you know, there's that one unknown variable that has to come into play. That's the people like Chuck and Anderson and those guys have that, where the rest of the guys are a couple notches below.
It's all the preparation leading up to a fight. I mean, that's the thing that got you there. That's what gets you through there. I mean, you gotta show up and perform. And you gotta go out there and fight. They can't do that for you. But without them, you wouldn't be prepared to go out there and fight. That's how I was able to relax. I always felt like every time I'm so relaxed going around, I'm calm and having fun because I know I did everything I was supposed to do.
He was already there, so it's just, to me, it was just trying to keep him there. Keep him up, keep him on edge, keep him, you know, always keep him near the peak, but never over it.
The Iceman, Chuck Liddell, the challenger, Jeremy Horn. Whoa. Oh, he stopped him there, and Jeremy's in trouble. Jeremy's done. Chuck's trying to finish.
The Iceman.
I'll fight anybody that put in front of me.
Finally, they will settle the score. Oh, big left. There goes Randy. Chuck trying to finish it. And it is all over. It is all over. Chuck Liddell remains the light heavyweight champion of the world. Wow.
So my little fucking house. Fucking die my little fucking car. Man!
Slide Shamrock.
Nice
over
elbows.
towards the fence.
Nice
Rolling
elbows.
down on him. Herb Dean walks in, and it is all over.
I'm just in here to fight. If Shamrock wants to do it again, we can do it again. I have no problem with that at all.
The final chapter. These are big. Ken trying to survive. It is all over. It is all over.
Now me and Liddell are no longer friends, you know, we're pure acquaintance. It's business now.
Liddell retreats. Liddell with an uppercut. Caught Babalu. Babalu seems to be okay, though. But he's hurt bad. Now he's hurt again.
Could be over here.
Liddell trying to finish it quickly. Teeing off is Liddell. It's all over. It's all over.
What is motivating you now, and what do you see as a challenge for you on the horizon?
Fighting motivates me. I love the sport. I love what we're doing here. And that big, where's that big hitting guy? This guy over here, that guy motivates me too. I get another shot at it. I think we can talk him into fighting me again. Perfect.
He says thumbs up.
Perfect. I'm ready. If he's in shape, we go right now.
I think we'll wait till December when you actually lose a little bit of the belly, but it's okay. Oh.
That belly's permanent, sorry.
The belly's permanent? You gotta love Chuck Liddell.
Chuck's philosophy was, anytime I get the chance to knock Tito Ortiz out, I'm in. I'll fight him 15 times if you guys want me to, you know? He's like, I love punching that guy in the face. Anytime you guys want to set it up where I can punch Tito in the face, I'm in.
The biggest fight of all time between Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell.
I mean, the first time it was even mentioned, me and him fighting, was him jumping in the ring after I won a fight. And him coming and lipping off about how he was going to kick my ass.
Man, we've been working our butts off in this octagon. Well, it looks like me and him are next.
He's one of the only fighters out there I probably have no problem talking smack about. I don't like him, and I'm more than happy to go out there and put a beat on him.
Love to get out there, and I love to win. Can't stand to lose. I can't wait to knock this kid out.
Now that I have no injuries, there will be no excuses. With Chuck Liddell, you know, he's a tough competitor. He's a tough fighter. Him being the world champion, I'm just going to have that much more grace when I take the title away from him. That belt belongs around my waist, and I've been working my butt off. I've been up at Big Bear now for 8 weeks, and I've been pushing myself as hard as I possibly can. And just this next fight will be that much more recognition when I do beat him, and I show that Chuck Liddell is human and he is beatable.
When you listen to him talk, do you think he believes what he's saying?
No, I don't. He's afraid of me. In the back of his mind, he still knows I used to beat up on him every time we train, and that doesn't go away. It's been a fight my fans have been asking for, even though, you know, it's like, oh, you got a great fight coming up. Good luck on that fight, but when are you going to knock Tito out again? It's just because, you know, they don't like him. You know, he's just running his mouth some more, and people don't like him even more.
I'm going to try to overwhelm Liddell, you know? I'm going to try to pick him apart and taking Liddell down and seeing if he could able to get up each and every round through 5 rounds. When it gets pressed to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, Those are the championship rounds. Those are the type of rounds that I've fought before. Liddell's never fought in those type of rounds before.
I just can't let him beat me. I can't lose to that guy. You never hear the end of it. You know, bad enough when you beat him, you still can't hear the end of it. You know, think how bad it'd be if you lost to him.
I want to get back in the octagon, and I want to continue dominating and stopping people.
He still doesn't want to fight me. He fights me because he has to. I love to fight. He doesn't. I love being out there. Not because there's cameras on and there's people around. I love to be out there because I'm fighting somebody.
There's a place and time for everything, and the place and time is for me to get my belt back. Liddell's a great champion, and his time has come.
Someone's getting their ass kicked tomorrow.
He's got a big mouth, and I get a chance to shut him up. He's not going to be happy with the result. I'm going to knock him out again. If I knock him out in the first round, the second round, the fourth round, don't care, I'm going to knock him out.
I always have pre-fight rituals. They suck too. I throw up and I cry. That's just me, man. I'm an emotional person, and you know my adrenaline's rushing so hard, and if there's anything in my stomach, it's for surely coming up. You know, when I walk out in the octagon, I feel tears coming down. It's just an automatic, and that's the emotions. Yummy.
All right, guys, here we go. We're walking 3, 2. Let's walk, baby. Here we go. Walking in, baby. Let's walk in, baby.
2 UFC warriors have now entered the octagon tonight. They go to war again, and only one will leave the champion. It's time!
Here we go. The light heavyweight title. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Ortiz,
let's go, come on!
Liddell are set to fight again.
Left hook by Chuck.
Tito has a great look in his eyes. The old Tito is back.
Single leg.
And a great job by Tito. Got up, got the hands covered.
Tito swinging here. Right hand by Tito.
Catches Chuck with a right. Caught him with a right.
Tito's bleeding.
Chuck smells the blood.
He does smell the blood. He's moving in for the kill.
Chuck pressing the action now. Uncharacteristically for Chuck to move forward a lot in a lot of his fights. He'll wait and draw you in.
He's hurt.
Tito is down.
He's hurt badly.
He is down. Chuck the Iceman Liddell is trying to finish the fight.
Tito's still out of this.
Great job done by Tito.
Tito is hanging in there.
Tito is going to survive, it seems, for now. What heart shown by Ortiz.
Good uppercut.
Caught him with an uppercut. But Ortiz looks as if he will survive round 1. Look at the smile on the face of Ortiz.
I don't know what he said to Chuck, but that's got to be a first round that rattled Tito. That's a very rare moment when Chuck's got someone that badly hurt and doesn't finish them off. Kudos to Tito Ortiz for making it through that round.
There you go, second round. Let's go, come on.
Round 1 belongs to Liddell.
It looks like part of Tito's game plan is try to wing a big right hand on Chuck. He's thrown it a couple of times, and it looks like he's measuring him up for it.
Well, Tito standing toe-to-toe with Chuck here in round 2.
Nice right hand by Tito that time. And Chuck does keep his hands remarkably low.
Outside he's got
the takedown.
Now there's an opportunity. Tito takes Chuck down. First bit of momentum. First bit of momentum for Tito Ortiz in the fight. Now he can utilize control. But now he's in that clinch.
Good
In the
elbow.
clinch. Chuck gets out of the clinch.
He finally got just a bit, but he got some control in round 2. We are headed to round 3.
There you go, third round. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go.
That inside leg kick is also a big part of Tito's strategy here. You see him going to it over and over again.
Tito with a smile on
Nice
his
right
face.
hand
And
by
Tito
Tito.
Ortiz counters. Tito's starting to have fun.
The high crotch again by Tito. This time he didn't get it deep enough around the leg.
Chuck will be happy to stand up.
Tito is definitely making a fight out of this. It looked real bad for him in that first round when he got hurt, but he's still hanging in there in the third round.
Caught with a jab and then with a right.
Trying to get a reaction. Nice uppercut lead.
Right hand.
Tito tries to answer. Chuck comes around the top. Chuck looking to close it out. Tito back down. Tito survived in a similar position in round 1.
Rolled the leg over.
Can he survive here?
Gotta move,
Tito trying to finish Tito Ortiz.
He's not hurting him. He's hitting his arms mostly. He's not hurting him. But Tito has to move.
And it is all over. Chuck Liddell remains the light
most satisfied victory of my career. I think Tito came out real tough. He looked good. And I had him hurt. I just kept throwing punches until he wasn't defending himself for sure. And it's over.
All right, I'm here with Tito. Tito, obviously a devastating loss. A long, hard camp for this, a long way back. Tell us what's going through your mind now.
You know, pure anger. I'm just like kind of disgusting myself because I let a lot of my fans down. It sucks. You don't understand. My fans are what feed me. The fans are what make me drive to get in the gym every day. And to let them down like this, it hurts my heart really bad. But you know what? Chuck's the best pound for pound fighter in the world right now. I got to give it to him. He's worked his ass off to get where he is, and he showed it tonight. But you know, I mean, I'm only 31, man. I'm going to be in this sport for another 5 to 6 years. I'm going to be here for a long, long, long time. I'm sorry all my fans let you guys down. I fought my ass off, and I will be back. I guarantee it.
Were you at all concerned about his confidence going into his fight? He was talking a lot of smack, more smack than the last time.
Not at all. I don't care. I hope he's made for a good fight.
I knew Chuck Liddell was going to win those fights. I knew he was. He had Tito's number. Tito couldn't deal with Chuck's style, his power, his wrestling. Tito couldn't take Chuck down, and Chuck was 1,000,000% in Tito's head.
The one thing I got out of that one is he quit. You know, first one I knocked him out, the second one he quit.
I let everything out there. I didn't hold anything back, you know. People say when you fight and you hold anything back, when you're done, you're like, damn, I should have did that. I can look at it now and I say, damn about nothing. Stuff like this is what challenged people. You know, I can say, oh, I give up, I quit. There's no quit in me at all. Maybe I should have moved my head a little more. I guess it comes down to the boxing train a little bit. I guess I should have bobbed when I was leaving.
Tito was a tough guy. Tough, talented guy. Tito had a really good chin, too. If you look at some of the shots Tito's taken from some of the best knockout artists in the business, Tito's taken the best shots from a lot of guys. Tito just never had any confidence. He didn't like to get hit.
I popped the tendon. I did it on this one before. Yeah, not sort of attached a little bit.
This is the bottom now. Is there any possibility we could see the two of you training together again to improve your games?
I have a lot of respect for him as a fighter. He comes out and fights. He fight hard. He fought a great fight. Obviously, his goal is still to get the title, so he's going to want to fight his way back up and get another fight with me. So
He has a belt that I want. Just because he beat me twice don't make I'm going to stop, you know. I'm hungry. I'm going to keep trying for that belt. I'm going to keep trying. I don't care if it takes me 10 times. I'm going to keep trying. It don't matter. There's no quit in me at all. Zero quit.
I fought Chuck twice, and yes, I've lost twice to him. Little mistakes that I made, but I made huge amounts of money. He made huge amounts of money off of it, and that was my whole game I wanted to do. That's why we fought. You know, we were, at the time, one of the highest grossed pay-per-view of UFC history, the second fight between me and Chuck, and we have pushed it to mainstream, you know, thanks to Spike TV, you know, Lorenzo, Frank Fertitta, and of course Dana doing his hard work of promoting fights. I think we both helped each other make it happen.
things change, like I said. Things are like, you know, it went from, you know, me walking in a bar or walking down the street knowing exactly which guys might know who I am, to having absolutely no clue, because, you know, so many different walks of life watch the sport now, and how many people know of us. So, got a little different that way. Nothing's changed, you know. John, we were joking around about it. He's the only difference is he's got a $15,000 stopwatch, and I'm driving up to the house in a Ferrari instead of driving up there in a beat up Ford Ranger and regular $2 stopwatch. But the training hasn't changed, life hasn't changed. We're just all the same people up there, so keeps us grounded. Thanks.
I gotta put real big pressure in here. Good. Deep breath in and hold it. Hold it. All the way out. Good. There we go. For the typical person that comes in, a lot of people ask me, and no matter what, Chuck's a superstar. So people, oh, you take care of Chuck Liddell? I go, yeah, oh, how is he? Is he all beat up? And realistically, I mean, what it comes down to is he's a professional athlete, and he's built better than 22-year-old kids that come in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he has injuries that are longer than 10 of my patients put together, but he he pulls it off. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes him a pro athlete.
I've been putting it through, beating it, holds together pretty good. I said a long time, you know, I've been lucky. No, that's just, my body's held together. I haven't had any real major injuries.
It was tough at the beginning just because it was hard for me to watch, but just to see these guys that, you know, got one eye that's closed and the face blown up on the side and, you know, are still going after the fight. And since then, I've had just the utmost respect for the sport and what they do. I think they're, you know, the toughest guys on the planet. And obviously, that's a big part of who I think Chuck is and what's so attractive about him.
I thought it could still fight the same way. It just, you know, wasn't. She didn't seem to be able to take a punch the same.
I was always honest. I knew his skills had declined. I knew that he was out partying too much. I knew that, you know, the things that were supposed to be, he was supposed to be doing, he wasn't. But it's hard to tell a guy like that it's over. You know, when you walk into an arena with 20,000 fans and they're going crazy screaming your name to see a fight, and you know you're making big money, and it's hard to say, okay, I'm ready to take this next chapter of my life where I'm not this guy anymore.
You know, he told me how he felt, and that's how he felt. And I took some time off, but I wasn't ready to retire yet. You know, we talked about it. He's like, okay, well, you really want to give it another try, okay? Then here, how about we do this?
I'm a better coach, and at the end of the season, I'll show that I'm a better fighter.
The guy is a complete doorknob.
Now, their epic feud becomes a war.
Don't talk shit to my guys. Chuck. Come on, coach. Come on. Walk the fucking tape. Wait, walk your way up. Fuck you, man. Hey. Talk to your own guys. Talk to your own fucking guys.
Fucking me.
Whoa, it's gonna fall.
How did you and Tito get into the UFC and making that fight happen again? Because it's not like the first or second one was close.
They know I don't like him, and they knew he was going to talk enough shit. We've been here, what, a week? Now I was looking at it as a tune-up fight. Well, now he's motivating me to train for the fucking thing. So now he's in trouble. Tito said in an interview that Dana had to have an intervention with me in September and say I was an alcoholic, and he was using, I think, to explain why I lost some fights. You want to fucking make shit up and start talking, try to make me look bad in the press, try to do whatever the fuck you want? Fuck you. If I put myself in the wrong position, he might get dropped here. And knowing Tito, he's that big a pussy, he'd probably press charges.
All right, guys, welcome to my favorite part of the competition, the Coach's Challenge. This season, it's dodgeball.
Chuck and Tito.
Come on, Tito.
Remember that? Big jam, baby.
As you know, we picked off Tito quite a bit because he couldn't move his feet fast enough, you know. Maybe the same problem he's got in the ring sometimes.
They said I may have to get surgery.
No.
On what?
My neck.
No shit.
So I just got back from right now. And my disc is pressing on my spinal cord. I get numbness down my legs, down my arms, headaches every day. I just have another 5 years of competition left. If I keep chancing myself of fighting injured, I'm gonna hurt myself worse. I ain't gonna let Chuck beat me because I wasn't 100%. No possible way, no way.
Chuck told me before the season started, when I asked him to do it, he said, I guarantee you, Tito will not fight me. We'll do this show and he'll pull out of the fight, I guarantee it. And I said, dude, trust me, he's gonna fight you. You guys have fought twice before. Tito's gonna take this fight. He said, I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. And that's why when Tito pulled out, I was like, holy shit. Chuck was right, and you know, I had to go tell Chuck that Tito pulled out.
Looking for you.
I don't know what.
Come here.
Chuck is looking for an opportunity to get into it with Tito. He wants to fight Tito so bad.
I guess now's a better time than ever. Tito pulled out of the fight.
That fucking pussy You're serious, right?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I told you he was gonna do this bullshit. I told him day fucking one. I said that's why I didn't want to do this with him. Don't let that fucking guy fight anymore, man. He's a fucking pussy. Unless I get to fight him, but then that's a different story. But are you fucking killing me?
Told him Tito wouldn't fight me again from day one. Before we even started thinking, I said, can we find somebody else? He goes, oh no, he signed the bar. He's already signed the bar. He's gonna do it. He's kept reassuring me, you know, from week one of the show. And oops, nope.
You knew that though. Huh?
Yeah, I knew it coming in.
Fucking pussy. Fucking piece of shit. What? Pulled out. Who? Pussy. He pulled out. I know we're not fighting.
You know, I got a Tito's a pussy. He don't want to fight Chuck now. As I was going to get neck surgery. I wasn't compete injured again. No possible way. My career is not, my life's not worth that. No, I have 3 kids to take care of.
I told Dana I didn't want to do it with him. I didn't want to do this fucking show with him. I knew he'd do this with this fucking piece of shit.
There's so many fights that I can look that I still fought no matter what. And to say that I back out of fights and that's expected, well, I think maybe that when the guys back out of fights, people don't give a shit about them. That's why people don't pay attention. People pay attention to me because they care. They want to see me win, they want to see me get my ass kicked, or they don't want to see me just entertain. That's when you know you're a star. That's when you know you've made it. When people stop giving a shit about a guy, I mean, you look how many fights, just this last year of guys are getting injured. People don't care. People go, oh, okay, cool. Who's filling in for him? I want to see that. When I pull out, oh, shut up, Tito's pulling it off. You want my ticket? It makes a difference.
Okay, well, what do you want to say? What am I doing? So what do I do now?
You're still gonna fight at the end of the show.
Yeah, sure, yeah, fine. I don't know.
All right.
Liddell works his way back towards his locker room, perhaps for the last time.
I want to thank Frank, Lorenzo, and Dana for everything they've done for me over the years and for the sport. And most of all, I want to thank my fans, family.
His retirement day wasn't hard for me. I felt great about it. Chuck and I had done it. We did it. We did it together, and you know, again, going back, I managed him. We were, you know, all the things we worked on, all the things you dream about, getting into the UFC, him becoming a huge star, a world champion, making tons of money, becoming famous, doing other things, and then eventually retiring. It was all done the right way at the right time, and it couldn't have gone any better.
I got to come to a decision myself. You know, no one made me retire, no one made the decision for me.
Other side of it.
And, you know, I went out my way, so it's okay.
There we go. Just relax. Good. On your back.
Deep down in my heart, I was happy to see him retire because I didn't want to see him get hurt any other fights. He's had his run in the light heavyweight title. He's you know, been a big name in the sport as a fighter. He's given a lot to the UFC. He's sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed his body for the UFC. As I say, Liddell can say he's not my friend as much as he wants, and at the time that he was, we're cool with each other. We're really cool with each other. Coming back 25 years ago as that kid sitting on the street watching his friend get shot, make some bad decisions, find wrestling to save my life, get into college, and get educated on my own, and make something out of nothing, you know? I'm living the American dream. People talk about living the American dream, and I'm living the American dream. You know, I'm new money. My kids got the opportunity to have everything in the world.
There's a lot more Tito could have done, you know, and had he done things differently, I think he could have had a completely different career. He let that window close before he accomplished really great things. Even if he fought Chuck that first time and he lost, at least the people would have looked at him differently, in my opinion, had he just taken the fight and not had all these excuses and reasons on why he wasn't going to fight Chuck Liddell. Tito has always been and will always be out for Tito. It's all about Tito and nobody else. That's why when Tito jumps out and starts talking about how he built the fucking brand and how he did this and that, Tito did everything in his power to hurt this fucking company. And Chuck Liddell went on to make multi-millions of dollars. And it's not because Chuck was running around and thought he was a businessman. It's because Chuck was a fighter and he was willing to prove to anybody, anywhere, anytime that he was the best in the world. And people loved and respected him for that. And that's how Chuck Liddell made all his money. And that's how Chuck Liddell is still making his money today. And unfortunately, a guy like Tito Ortiz is remembered for things that aren't about what being a real champion and about being a fighter are.
Me and Chuck are two different animals. Total different animals.
Step up to middleweight, chances are slim, and you ain't walking away with it.
Through his fight career, yeah, he's trained hard and he's put everything into it, and he's always said yes, 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 yes. I've stood my ground and I stood for my respect. So at the end of the day, when I look in the mirror, I could respect myself 100%. He came from a fighting world. I fought for my life.
Fight anybody they put in front of me.